What do we stand for?
If season 3 of The Mandalorian has you feeling Baby Yoda fever all over again, here are 5 more shows like this that are totally worth checking out. Pedro Pascal guiding an orphan through dangerous terrain may seem like old hat now, but The Mandalorian was the first to do it, and now has yet another fresh must-see season underway.
There's something dangerous happening out there, and by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
With more Pedro, more Star Wars, and more hero and sidekick fun, this list will be your perfect companion. Starting with our brand new and somewhat obvious pick, The Last of Us. Released on HBO and HBO Max in January, this series quickly became a hit and one of the most talked about shows in a long time. And what matters here today is that it gives you what The Mandalorian can't, which is more Pedro Pascal. I mean, it's just so nice being able to see his face. Now, after just one certified fresh season, The Last of Us is now widely considered among critics to be one of the greatest video game adaptations ever, which is pretty impressive because we all know how gamers can be. Kidding. Now, while you wait for the officially greenlit season 2, it'll take you around 10 hours to watch the first season and then a couple days to totally process what you just watched, just FYI, but in a good way.
You keep going for family.
I'm not family.
No. You're cargo.
Making the journey as our throwback pick is the Lone Wolf and Cub franchise, which includes 6 films and a TV series. This manga story was first published in 1970, and it screams Mandalorian, as it's centered around an assassin father and his 3-year-old son who travel together seeking revenge. Over the years, critics have praised the story work of the actors and twists and turns of the story, saying that this franchise has a rare type of film that succeeds as lowbrow visceral entertainment or as high-concept art, kind of like my Instagram. You can binge all 6 movies in just about 8.5 hours, and maybe you'll pick up a few pointers on how to entertain a young child.
The deadliest duo imaginable is a father and son who could take on an entire army. Known far and wide as Lone Wolf and Cub.
Bringing some rebellion to this list is our audience pick Andor. Now, with fan favorite Diego Luna leading the way as thief turned rebel spy Cassian Andor, this series takes us into previously unseen parts of the Star Wars universe, much like Mandalorian. After a certified fresh first season, Andor holds the highest tomato meter score out of all the live-action Star Wars shows, with critics calling it an exceptionally mature and political entry into the mythos. With the second and final season probably not coming until 2024, you can actually watch the 12-episode first season in about 9 hours. And then you're gonna wanna watch it again because it's seriously that good.
They're so proud of themselves, so fat and satisfied. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house.
Climbing out of a Sarlacc pit to be our editor's pick is the Book of Boba Fett. Now, this series takes place at the same time as and even crosses over with The Mandalorian. It features Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett and Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shan, both reprising their roles from previous Star Wars media, and I just personally love that trend. Now, while it hasn't garnered quite the same praise as Mando and Andor, the first season is still fresh on the tomato meter, and critics say that it ultimately earns its commission with spectacular set pieces and Morrison's commanding presence. No official word yet on a second season, but in the meantime, you can actually watch the first season in just over 5 hours, and then you too may be able to survive a Sarlacc pit.
I am not a bounty hunter. I've heard otherwise.
And finally, our certified fresh pick is another live-action Star Wars series and my personal favorite, ObiWan Kenobi. And much like our boy Din Djarin, aka Mando, Obi-Wan is a bit of a solo traveler in this series, and he winds up with some precious cargo of his own as he tries to look after a young Princess Leia. With Hayden Christensen reprising his role as Darth Vader, and of course Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan, critics praise the certified fresh first season, especially McGregor's soulful performance paired with some refreshing twists. So you'll only need about 4.5 hours to get through the first season, which leaves you plenty of time to keep practicing your Force powers. May the Force be with you.
Leave us alone.
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father?
Okay, so hopefully this will take your next few binge sessions to a galaxy far, far away. Be sure to let us know what you're currently streaming in the comments, and check back here for more recommendations based on the shows you love right here on Rotten Tomatoes, More Like This. I'm Naz Perez, and I'll see you guys next time.